and welcome to our podcast, Learning, Leading Now, where we talk all things education, all things Mobile County Public Schools. I'm your host, Renee Phillips, joined by our co-host,
Sally Erickson, and I'm the Community Engagement Specialist.
And our special guest of today is Tiffany Baker, a technology resource teacher at the district level. Hi.
Hi.
So we talk about what's going on in our schools. Okay. Obviously, we are employees of the school system, but we're also parents.
Yeah.
And I bet there's never a dull day in your house because you have twin boys in high school.
Yes, they are juniors at Baker High School, and it is never a dull moment, ever.
So how much do they eat?
Depends on the day.
Mm-hmm.
Some days they're a little bit more, but yeah, it's never ending.
I have two boys too, and some days they will eat us out of house and home, and then the next night they're like, I'm not hungry. I'm like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, if I happen to go to the kitchen, I may find a wrapper, or I may find an empty cup, because in the middle of the night, they're getting up, getting something to eat or drink. So, yeah.
You were telling us before we started that your kids are also night and day.
They are. I have one that are that's in the fine arts, musical theater, choir, and then I have another one who's my athlete. He plays on the varsity basketball team. So, yeah, it's extreme on both ends.
Well, and it's amazing because two kids can be very different, as could 3 or 4 or 5, however many you have. But to be twins and be so different.
Yeah, and truth be told, they're just as much alike as they are different, though. Like, they have some of the same mannerisms. Kind of like, it's weird that twin telepathy, even though they're not identical, they still have some of that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just watching them grow up, has become just as much of a journey as anything else. So it's been fun.
And I bet they've had a fabulous experience at Baker. Baker just seems to me like the classic high school, the sort of the stereotype of all that's great in high school.
They've enjoyed their years, I can say. With Mr. Brown in the musical theater program.
He's awesome. Eric Brown.
He is amazing. And even Miss Hatch Davis with the choir, past apprentices in 3 different choirs. And so it's been amazing to see those programs come to life because they work so hard behind the scenes. And when you actually go to a show and see it come together, I was like, man. So he's really enjoyed that. And he's into some other clubs. And, of course, Paris's class and basketball. He's all things basketball. So, and Coach Armstrong is a really amazing program there, and he's worked with him a lot for the past couple of years, so it's been good.
But I love what you said, that they can be so different yet the same. Because my 2 boys, one is 14, one's 12, 9th grade and 7th grade. And yes, they're night and day, and then they're so alike. Like, it's just hard to describe. Like, there's certain things that they like to geek out over, talk about. And it's amazing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Sometimes they make the same facial expression and don't even realize they're doing it. And I'll be like, y'all are just alike. But they're like, no, we're not. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
That's the worst thing you can say. You're like your brother.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Absolutely.
I had a brother. I didn't. I wouldn't like that expression either.
And I'm an only child, so.
And Sally's got a boy and girl, and they're very different.
They are very different. They share the same genetic material, but you would never know it.
So I do want to ask you, so we were at Baker the other day, Quentin Howard and I, he is our MCPSS TV manager, and we were filming a public service announcement for social emotional wellness. Basically, we want everyone to be okay. Like, the last 4 years have been traumatic with COVID and everything we've been through, and we're seeing a lot of mental health issues in our students and our adults. And I don't even want to say the word issues because that seems like a negative tone. But we really want to stress that if you need help, call us, get help, go to your counselor.
Absolutely.
There's a 988 crisis number if you're in crisis. So we were doing this ad for that, a PSA, and Baker was so fun because it was homecoming week, which was the kids were great. We had kids read the parts, but the challenge was finding kids that weren't dressed up like cowboys because it was dress up week, and they were having a blast.
Yeah. My boys have participated. Prentice has participated every year. Paris decided to take off last year, so he didn't participate at all. But this year, he wanted to participate but it was the barbecue dad and soccer mom day.
Yeah,
that was the most hilarious for me. They came in with the socks and the cargo shorts, and he had the little fanny pack on, and he had the little spatula, and I was like, and he said, Mom, I got my little theme music. So he was playing music. He was walking down the hallway, kind of modeling what he was going to wear.
Uh-huh.
It was fun. And the first day, I think, was bringing anything but a book bag. And one of them went to school with a laundry basket. I said, Prentice, we could fold you up and put you in the laundry basket. But when I pulled up, like some of the different things I saw, like the strollers, and just that was really good.
They get very
the picture,
creative.
yeah, the pictures were awesome.
They're a lot more creative than we were. We were like neon day.
Right.
Yeah, we kept it
School
very
spirit
simple.
Twin
day.
day.
Yeah, twin day. Yeah,
Yeah.
dress like your favorite, your hero or whatever. My middle schooler, so I was actually very proud of this. He had some days where he had to dress up like so mobile, like whatever is mobile. And he had one day where he could dress like in something from outer space. So that got creative. Somebody wore cowboy to that and said, I'm a space cowboy. I was like, that's funny.
Very cute.
So he had what they call Decades Day. And so my kids, it's like they should have been in the 90s, which is my generation, but they're in the 2020s. So I found a Nirvana shirt, and he wore that with the plaid.
Yeah.
And then there were some other kids wearing the same shirt. But the funny thing is, my other son, who's in high school, they're having old school versus new school. So he's going to wear the same Nirvana shirt
Clever.
because I thought they can use them.
Yeah.
But they have another day called No Rhyme, No Reason.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't figure that one out.
That sounds complicated.
I think it's
Yeah.
like two words. They rhyme, but they have nothing to do with one
Yeah,
another. Like
yeah.
that
you
would
could
be
get
kind
into
of
some good semantics.
yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone has ideas for No Rhyme, No Reason, please email R. Phillips at mcpss.com, because he was perplexed by that one too. He's like,
Wow.
Mom, I might skip that one. I can't think of that one. But they do have a lot of fun with their dress
They
up
really
days
do.
over there.
They do.
They all do. It's just
Yeah.
fun this time of year as we're trying to usher in a fall.
Mm-hmm.
And
My favorite time of year.
oh, it's so great. So I want to do a plug. MCPSS TV does its high school football game of the week, and that's always so much. I know Sally helps with that with the scores.
I do the score ticker.
But it's so fun having, showcasing not only our teams, but also our bands, our programs that we have at the schools.
Yeah.
And people watch it. So it's another way we show our 988 See Your School Counselor PSA. So we're trying to get that out to people. But fun time of year.
Absolutely.
Another fun thing I got to do today, went down to Bryant Career Technical Center, and the kids were learning how to operate tractors
Oh, wow.
and something called a track hoe and some other things. I don't remember what they're called.
Sounds
for-
It
big.
sounds interesting, though. Yeah.
Yeah, for some of it was their first time. We interviewed a student from Bryant. It was her first time to drive one of them, and she was so happy. But they would like pick up dirt in one place and move it to another. And then one girl, she said that she drives them every day in her parents' land. So it's just kind of different.
Yeah.
Just a skill. Like when we say we're preparing our kids to be college and
Absolutely.
career ready, just
Yeah.
another way we're doing that.
Yeah.
Well, Tiffany, one thing I was curious about with your job in instructional technology, I used to be a reporter, and I was expected to be right on the cutting edge of any sort of technological advances. And my children constantly mocked me for anything I was trying to learn because they already knew it and they weren't interested in sharing that knowledge with me. So I thought it'd be fun for you to talk a little bit about that dynamic with teenage boys and how part of your job is to stay on top of instructional technology. And then I bet they can help you, or they can maybe even enlighten you in different ways that we hadn't even thought about.
Absolutely. They even just being born, they kind of took the technology just right away, just having that phone. You can watch TV, you can do all these different things. But in regards to my job, yeah, we're always researching, always looking for different tools and new ways to shortcut some things and, help our teachers to infuse that technology into their classroom, because the kids now seem to be ahead of us. So sometimes we find ourselves having to work a little bit harder to make sure that we're caught up and the teachers caught up so that we can help catch up with the kids, seem like sometimes. So, but yeah, sometimes when they come across things, they're, Mom, let's look at this, let's try this. And even vice versa. If I come across a tool or something I'm looking at, sometimes I'll ask them, hey, let me, try this out for me so I can see how it will work for you. Because again, as a educator and a parent, I want to see how it works on their end, so that way when I introduce it to teachers and other people, then I at least have both sides of it so I can, be as helpful as I can. But yeah, it never ends. Always researching, always looking for new cutting edge technology tools that we can help with the teachers.
Well, and another thing we were talking about too is the older generation. They're just about as eager to learn about technological advances, and they want to use their phones to the utmost advantage. So, we're always looking for connections in my church about how to help the older people and get the teenagers in there to, help them with their Apple IDs and things like that. So, I think that's always a nice way to bridge the gap between the generations.
Absolutely.
My son was showing me the other day because I have the Spotify app, and he's like, you can get it without ads. And I was like, but I don't want to pay for it. He goes, you can get a free trial. So he was showing me how to do that. And I was like, stop it. Like but just what they're able to do with any type of app or computer program.
And
they can show me how to.
They'll be like, Mom, you updated to the new iOS 17. I'm like, iOS what? Because I'm still on, I think I just got the 14 not too long ago. I don't even know which one they have. But yeah, you update it. You can do this, and this. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm just used to getting the 16. Now I got to learn some more stuff. So on the reverse side of it, I'm having to kick it up a notch to make sure I stay up with it because, it changes so quickly. So
we are about to start the new class of Learning Leading University. And when we started last year, the first session, we handed out iPads to everybody and then practiced a game on the iPad. So it was an interactive
These are
game.
adults.
Yes, these are grown-ups, and they're seeing the sort of technology that our kids use in the classroom every day just as a matter of course.
Absolutely.
And they're seeing how the teamwork aspect of it plays in, because it's not just one child working on a device anymore. It's you go into a classroom and you see 4 or 5 kids around a table. They're all working on a project together.
Yep.
So I thought that was an interesting part of it. It's not just a one man is an island sort of situation.
Absolutely. Collaboration is big, especially for us in instructional tech. We definitely want to make sure that we have apps and programs where you can build that collaboration in the classroom. You've got kids that are alike that like to work together, but then also helping them work with other kids. So just, again, building that collaboration across the board, that small group setting, and it just makes it easier. So we're always trying to figure out ways and programs where we can do that to help the teachers so that they can become more of a facilitator in the classroom and allow the kids to drive some of that. So it's important, that collaborative piece.
Well, and I went to a classroom last week where it was English language arts, and they were learning about Zimbabwe. So they'd read a story about Zimbabwe, but then they were also having to do all this research. But the part that I found the most fascinating was the teacher had started the research for them in an interesting way. She created what she called tiles. So the tiles had, they were little islands with islands of information on them, and that's where she wanted them to hit first, rather than just going out on the internet and doing vast searches. It was a way to narrow it down what she wanted them to focus on. And so she had dropped these tiles, and they were able to just pick which tile they wanted to start with. But again, they were working in groups. And then they had the student teacher circulating to help them. And so it was a really exciting learning environment, even though I was only there for about 20 minutes.
Right.
Well, it probably teaches them what to look for online too, because you can get so overwhelmed with all the information on there. So we have to teach our kids how to look for the relevant information to what they're doing. Because I know we can get on our little tangents as adults if we start looking up something.
Absolutely.
But just something that that way they can stay on track.
Right. Absolutely. It's almost kind of like building a template for them, but then, you always can tweak it and make it your own. So yeah, you definitely have to give them a starting place.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about a typical day for you in instructional technology?
So really first thing when I come in, I'm checking my calendar. If I'm not already based at a school that day, I come in, check my calendar, check my agenda, see if there's anything I need to work on right away, answering emails. And then just depending on if I'm preparing for a workshop, I'll start working on my presentation, or I got a couple of workshops that I'm preparing for right now. So I'm working on projects and kind of making sure that I'm comfortable and those projects work the way I need them to work, because we have some workshops that are half day. So we're kind of strict on time. So I have to make sure that those projects fit that time frame. But also make sure the teachers are able to get what they need out of that workshop. Because when they leave, I want to make sure that they can take that and easily implement it right away. So that's basically the bulk of our day, unless we have a meeting that we'll attend, or we may partner up with another teammate and go to a school. But yeah, it can be different from day to day depending on our individual schedules.
So you go out to schools all over the county?
Well, we have feeder patterns. So each TRT has a set of schools that they work with, and we talk with those principals and figure out what their needs are, and then we just kind of go from there. Depending on their schedule, we'll set up days where we go out there and we'll do training either after school. Most of the time it's during the day, so the teacher will come in on their planning period, and we'll spend a little time with them and whatever the PD is on and share that knowledge and, be prepared for any follow-up visits that we need to have, any emails, anything like that. So, yeah, so it's a lot of schools, but we do our best to make sure that we contact them and try to stay on top of it. So if we don't hear from them for a while, we may reach back out a little bit later just to make sure, because it gets busy once school gets going and, the first quarter's already ended, so we definitely try to make sure we reach back around and touch bases with those people and those principals so we can continue to roll on.
One thing I've been very impressed with recently is the ViewSonic. I mean, all the different things that can be done with that in classroom instruction. Even something as simple as when you walk into the classroom, there's just a little quiet video of a sea turtle.
Right.
Makes everybody calm and relaxed, which is just wonderful. But can you talk a little bit about some of the different things that the ViewSonic has opened up for teachers that maybe our parents don't know about?
And so the ViewSonic board, a lot of people think that it's just a projector, but it's really not. It's an actual computer. It's multi-touch, so you can have several kids up at a time that are working on a particular assignment. But you can connect your iPad to it, and Brittany and Matt are our two that are phenomenal with the ViewSonic, and they drive our ViewSonic trainings for that. And so, but it's a computer program, so being able to use it more than just projecting your assignment or projecting a video, you can have your kids, connect your iPad to it so that you can be mobile and not just stuck up at the front of the board. You can watch, just pull it in. It's a computer, so use it in that fashion and not just a projector.
So I'm going to age myself. So it's not a blackboard or a whiteboard,
Nope,
right? We've been
it
through
is a
all the phases of
computer.
that. We also went through the
Right.
smart boards, but this is the ViewSonic. And
Yeah.
so similarly, because I remember way back in the 80s and 90s, we could
Yeah.
go up to the board and work a problem. So they can
Right.
still do that.
Yeah.
Like individuals could work
Absolutely.
the problems.
You can go up there and touch it and have 4 or 5 or more hands at the same time. So you can have 5 kids going up to the board working the problem at the same time. So, just imagine what that does for a kid that wants to get out of their seat and go to the board.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Much more fun than the chalk.
Right. Absolutely. And a lot less cleaner too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was always in our school, whoever got to clean the board for some reason, that was an honor.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think it was because the teacher made it that way. Like,
Yeah,
who's
it was
cleaning the
very
board
special.
today?
The dry erase
You
board.
are.
Like
yeah.
even today I have a small little dry erase board on mine. I have all the different colors and I write on it and this and that and other. So yeah, that was my era.
We have one in our kitchen. I had to put it in there because it was just getting to be too much. And
Yeah.
everyone kind of has a color marker and that, soccer practice. My oldest child took the PSAT yesterday. So we had
Okay.
that written down to the night before we could be like, go to bed,
Right.
get some rest, eat a good
Yeah.
breakfast in the morning. And so it's just, I think it's sometimes it's good to write it down.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
still have my hard copy of a calendar, but then I use my phone too because I have to put my schedule and my kids' schedule.
Calendar invites. That's how we live over here.
And we love calendar invites, but yes, I like the physical calendar also. And so I just say whatever works for you. you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's your favorite new technology tool that teachers have and students?
So my new technology tool that I've enjoyed the past year or two is Book Creator. Book Creator is a tool that allows students to create and publish digital books.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's really cool.
You got 2 writers over here getting
Yeah,
excited.
absolutely.
I have never heard of this one.
Yeah, it's called Book Creator. And so you use your district account to log in, and you can write a book about anything.
So you type the words, then do you put illustrations?
So you
or
can
how
put
does it work?
illustrations, you can add in videos, you can add in pictures. Book Creator actually has a partnership with Canva, so you can design in Canva and pull it into your book, create into your
Wow,
book.
that sounds like a game changer.
Yeah.
Print it out, or
Well, you can download it as a PDF copy. Yes.
there's my old fashionedness coming back again. Or you have a more of a digital interactive copy.
So you can, once you publish it, you get a link or a QR code. So you can take that QR code, post it around the classroom, post it around your school where kids can scan it and read each other's books.
Oh, fun.
You can collaborate on books. So when you talked about the collaborative piece earlier, that was the one thing that was kind of in the back of my head. Kids can work on books together. So when you have that author, you can have all of those kids' name on the author, or the kids can and the teacher can work on a book together as a whole group. So again, building that collaborative piece, but it's phenomenal. I like it. It's very creative and allows kids to be creative. And like I said, you can write a book about anything, math, even in bringing in subjects like math or science that you wouldn't think about, because usually when you say books, people think ELA automatically. But my goal is to help other people in other subject areas bring that into their classroom as well. So I'm excited about that one.
That's really cool. I
does
think
sound neat.
kids like to create.
They
And I
do.
know my son, when he was in 3rd grade, he wrote a book and it was
Yeah.
called The Egyptian Cave. And it was like mythology, but all the characters were kids in his class and they were going through an adventure, and it was something that it made all their worst nightmares come true. So like if one was
Absolutely.
afraid of bees, there was a bee, one was afraid of heights. It was just, and so he did some artwork in Canva, but we had to piece it together in Word and get it printed out at Office Depot. And he printed enough for his class, and his teachers were so great. They let him do an
Absolutely.
autograph party.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was just so thrilled, like I made this.
Yeah, kids love it. When I was teaching, that was the one thing that I want. I wanted my kids to be able to have an avenue where they can create what they want to create. You know what I'm saying? Some kids don't have an outlet like basketball or choir, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes they may need something extra that they can, express themselves through. So things like graphic arts and having those other avenues will allow kids to channel that, So
And the collaboration.
absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
And I must say, Canva has been a huge game changer for me too, because I've always been just a word person, and Canva has actually made it possible for me to be a graphics person. I did not think it was possible. So, because it's just so easy compared to everything we've had to work with before to create graphics.
And teachers use it in their classrooms every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
when
so
I
fun.
was teaching at Denton, that was the program that we used in my graphic arts class was Canva. That's how we printed our posters. That's how we designed a lot of our things. It was through Canva. And that was, I think Canva had just come out back then, and now it has taken off. It's so much more that
amazing.
you can do now than you could back then.
It really is great.
I love it.
We use it, Sally and I used it to create a presentation we presented about learning leading you at the Alabama Association of School Boards conference.
Nice.
So to about 110 school board members from across the state. So
Well, and-
it's pretty cool when Mobile's doing something that other people want to learn about,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It was awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, and this might be a trick question for you, but I was just thinking about that with how wonderful it is that children love books so much still. When I go into a classroom to read a book to the children, the thing that bothers me the most is I'm sitting away from them because I've got to have the book so everybody can see it. But the book is very, very small in my hands.
Right.
So I'm holding up this book, trying to read to them, and then put the book down to read, and then hold it up again. Isn't there a way to put it on ViewSonic, do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. If they have a digital copy, but some ViewSonic boards may not have a camera, but you can attach a separate camera to it, like a docu camera, and scan and have it projected so that you can flip those
That's
pages.
what I was hoping you would say. I think I'm going to ask the teacher about that next time, because I just want the kids to be able to see the illustrations large.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just so much easier to interact with them that way.
And as I get older, my eyes could see it better.
I always have to put my glasses on.
So do you have any advice for parents in this world of technology every day changing and evolving? Like, what can we do at home to protect our kids and to help them keep learning?
Let's start with Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Just don't.
Yeah.
No
Just
Snapchat?
don't.
Oh, come
Just
on.
Don't, no, just don't do it. Just don't.
Well, so that's still kind of the official rule is Snapchat is bad.
I don't know. I'm in as far as the kids is concerned, I don't too much like it because that's their first place that they go to record and this and that and the other. And so
And they think it disappears.
Yeah,
and
they
it
think it's
doesn't.
okay 'cause it
Nothing
disappears.
disappears.
Yeah,
never
Yeah.
disappears. Always a footprint. But as a parent, I'm just curious. I'm asking my teachers. I'm talking with the teachers. What are we using? What are you doing? If my kids are at home, what are you using? What are you doing? You know, and just asking those questions. Going to our website, mcpss.instructionaltechnology.com. Going to their website because we have, a list of things that tools that we're using, that we're teaching the teachers. So that's a place where they can go to and get and see what apps and programs that are being utilized in the classroom.
Like, for example, we have books. If you want to read a book, you can go on our website and get books, right? And then we have different programs to learn because they use so many videos now and
Absolutely.
with these songs where they can learn about
Absolutely.
geography or science. And
Absolutely. And a lot of the programs that we use, they have a free version. So as a parent, it's real easy for you to sign up for a free version and find those help tools where you can watch videos, or even YouTube. YouTube will tell you anything or teach you anything, right? So you can always research, go to YouTube and look up this program. But, like I say, I'm always partnering with the school and with my kid and asking them those questions and then reaching out to the teacher or, whoever the liaison will be in the school to see what I can do to learn more about that program or that
and that's a
tool.
good point. I don't know if a lot of our parents realize just how many resources are on the MCPSS website.
Absolutely.
So I did look on the instructional technology page recently, and I was amazed at how many different programs there were.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that
And
is a
that's-
very good point.
Yeah, like I said, if you see a tool that you want to learn about, you can, like I said, you can always visit the website and learn more about that too, and learn it for yourself. And then, ask your kids. They're always the first line for me, the first line of defense. If I want to know something, I'm going to go to my kid,
Oh, they know. Like Duolingo is one that my kids use. They're taking foreign languages, and they get some type of account because they're taking the class. And it's a
Absolutely.
way that they can take what they're learning and kind of go at their own pace at home. And then they have a little contest. The teacher sees who's doing more of the activities online at home
Absolutely.
to see who's learning the language.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
So much out there.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And it can be overwhelming.
Yes.
It can be even as a TRT, sometimes I'm like, okay, Tiff, just break it down and just pick one or two, because there's so much out there. And a lot of programs, there are multiple programs that can do the same thing. So you're having to weed out what would be the best fit for that teacher or the best fit for our department or for our district. You know what I mean? So it takes time for us to research and figure out what's good for us, and then making sure we can easily translate that, because it could be good for us, but you got teachers out there that are new to this. We got new teachers that come in every year. So we want to make sure that it's simple enough that even they could grasp it, or even our veteran teachers who've been in the game a while and may need to revamp or change a bit. So we always want to make sure that we find things that are simple and easy to use so that they can not be afraid to use it.
And that we're vetting them.
Absolutely.
So that's all the time we have. But can you tell us the name of the website if parents want to know more about the resources that are available?
mcpss.instructionaltechnology.com.
That's great. So visit there and just talk to your kids about what technology they're using.
Absolutely.
All right. Because we're learning now. We're learning today, leading tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. That's all the time we have. We'll catch you next time on Learning, Leading Now.